Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. It's me, Crypt13, and MiHoYo just posted some new buffs for Zhongli, our boy Zhongli. Our boy Zhongli, and some new buffs to the Geo Element and the Geo Resonance as well. So today I'm just gonna look through it, give you my thoughts, and we're gonna do some like rudimentary calculations on how much damage we're actually getting with the new Zhongli buff. So I've already looked at this, but we're gonna look at it together, so let's go ahead and do it. To all travelers, recently we have received a lot of questions and feedback regarding Zhongli. We understand the love that everyone has given Zhongli and the rapt attention being paid to any future changes. We apologize for the tardiness of this announcement concerning his adjustments. So they organized and summarized player feedback numbering in the tens of thousands during this time, both in the game and out of it. So that means they do peruse forums and stuff, I guess, and maybe Twitter and other things, not just the feedback system. And after analyzing the in-game data and engaging in many discussions, we have decided on an initial round of adjustments. These adjustments will be available to travelers participating in the 1.3 beta test version. So since these are beta changes, right, that means everything that we're reading in this post is subject to change. So keep that in mind when we go through this, that not all of this is actually going to come to the final game. All right, let's look at the first thing that Zhongli is getting as a character. So adjustments to his passive talent, Dominance of Earth. So Dominance of Earth is his last passive talent. So you'll have to ascend him to phase 4 to unlock this talent. So that means he has to be at least level 70, I think. Don't quote me on that. I think that's right. I think you unlock your final passive talent at level 70. And so the original effect is that, you know, it just gave Planet Befall's damage, extra damage equal to 33% of his max HP. But now they're adding two new effects to it in addition to this original one. So now they're adding extra damage dealt to his normal attacks, all of his auto attacks, so normal, charge, and plunging attack by 1.39% of his max HP. Very weird number, but they probably are just like reverse engineering this based off of the max HP that you can get off of Zhongli, and then they're, you know, kind of capping it based off that. The Stone, Steel, Resonance, and Holding Mode damage of Dominus Lapidus will be increased by 1.9 of max HP. And then they kept this the same thing. So if we take a look at the gifts here, we can definitely see that there's quite the significant increase in damage, but we don't know how they have built Zhongli in this gift. So we're gonna do some like really basic calculations in a little bit. So just hold on for that. Same thing on the steel here. So obviously the summoning damage and then the resonance damage is getting increased. 922 for the pulses and 700 for the summoning damage, which is way more than this. It's like double and triple. The summoning damage is almost triple, and then the resonance damage is like double. Not bad, but again, it's gonna depend on how you build Zhongli. You're definitely gonna have to build this guy for HP. Number 2, adjustment to Dominus Lapidus's holding mode. Original effect causes nearby geo energy to explode, causing the following effects. Okay, so that's just the regular stuff. So what is the after adjustment? Oh, post adjustment effect right here. It causes nearby geo energy to explode, causing the following effects. If the maximum number of stone steels has not yet been reached, it will create a stone steel. Okay, that's pretty nice. Creates a shield of jade. The shield's damage absorption is based off of Zhongli's max HP and has 150% physical damage and elemental damage absorption. That's definitely new, so that's pretty good and pretty nice, but this is actually a buff to Geo Shields in general, which we will see in just a little bit. Deals AoE Geo damage. It already did this, didn't it? Yes, it did. If there are nearby targets with the Geo element, it will drain a large amount from 2. This effect does not cause damage. I think that was already part of it as well. Yeah, that was already part of it, so that's not really a big change. I know it should have increased our resistance to interruption as well, because we can see that in the gift, but I don't see that in here. Maybe I'm just missing it. Oh, right here. This adjustment will also greatly increase the interruption resistance. There it is. There it is. I missed this. Regarding Geo Elemental mechanics, adjustments to the Geo Resonance. So remember that Geo Resonance is when you run double Geo in your team comp, so we are only going to get this effect if we run double Geo, okay? So before, it increased our resistance to interruption and gave us extra attack damage by 15% when we had a shield. Now it will increase our shield strength by 15% and give us some special characteristics. Damage dealt increased by 15%. Dealing damage to enemies will decrease their Geo Res by 20% for 15 seconds. So the change here is that we no longer get this resistance to interruption, so that is now gone. But we still keep this extra attack damage. And then the new things that we get is extra shield strength and Geo Res reduction. So that's really good. This is going to be really good for characters that are always dealing Geo damage. So that means Ningguang and Noelle, they're really going to like this, I think, because Noelle's E skill gives you a shield. So that means you will automatically just get this effect whenever you pop her ability. So that assuming you're running double Geo, of course. So that's pretty nice. That is pretty nice. I think this is basically an indirect buff to Ningguang and to Noelle, and obviously Geo Traveler as well, but yeah. Okay, Geo Shield Balance Adjustments. Geo Shields are adjusted from having 250% Geo damage absorption to having 150% physical damage and elemental damage absorption. That's pretty nice, but there's really only 3 ways to get a Geo Shield, and it lists those 3 ways here. Yeah, there's not very many ways to get this this effect in the game. But this is still a pretty good effect to have, and it's way better than having just 250 Geo damage absorption. Having it basically applied to all damage in the game makes Geo Shields definitely a lot better than they were before, so that's good. Let's see what they're saying here. So this round of adjustments is not merely intended to improve the experience of playing Zhongli alone. We also hope to better convey the shield and Geo playstyles that are closely associated with him. Not only for his sake, but also to improve the experience of travelers who have been delving into the strategy layer of this game. It is precisely because the changes go further than pure adjustments to a character alone that we have taken the utmost care. We hope to be able to give travelers a more detailed solution as opposed to hastily throwing out a general direction for adjustments. I kind of like that. They're really taking their time and I guess testing these balance adjustments instead of just saying, oh, okay, fine, let's just listen to the community and give this guy a direct damage buff. It really does seem like they're kind of like trying to reverse engineer these balance adjustments and then applying them and testing them instead of just pushing them out. So I guess that's good. But I'm sure there's plenty of different people who have different opinions on that. We truly hope that Zhongli will be a trusty companion. Okay, blah blah blah. I think we don't really need to go more into this. I think what's important now is that we actually go into some calculations. Let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so I have this really basic rudimentary spreadsheet here that's going to help us calculate how much extra damage we're getting from the new Zhongli buffs. Remember that he gets a extra 1.39% damage to his normal attacks based off of his max HP, and then an extra 2.9% damage buff for his stone steel and his resonance damage. So I've gone ahead and change that to decimal so that we can actually calculate how much actual damage we're getting. And then this is the parameters that we're using for our Zhongli, okay? He is going to be level 70. So Zhongli at level 70, or is this level 80? Actually, I have to double check, but this is his base HP, base attack at level 70. Let me just go ahead and double check that. So at level, okay, no, this is level 80. So at level 80, he's gonna have 12,965, and then this is his base attack and this is his extra Geo damage bonus, but we're not gonna worry about those right now. We're just gonna see how much damage he's getting from his buff. And then we're also gonna go a little bit troll here, okay? And we're going to do 3 5-star artifacts that have HP percent on them. So when a 5-star artifact is fully leveled plus 20, you get 46.6% max to your max HP. And then we're also going to assume that we have flat HP and HP percent as the substats, but we're going to assume that it rolled maybe once or twice into the flat HP and then maybe once or twice into the HP percent. So, and using this as our parameters will just give us like a rough idea of what we can do with Zhongli's HP and how much damage we can get. Okay, so let's go ahead and just stick with these numbers. So, and then if we come over here, this total percent HP is just calculated from the main stat and then all the substats, and then the flat HP is just the sum of all the flat HP. Okay, and then this column here is it turned into a percent so that we can actually calculate how much final HP that he will have. And the way that I've calculated the final HP, which I believe is correct, is to just add all of the numbers together. So we add his base HP, and then we add the flat HP, and then we add the product of his base and the total percent HP. Okay, so what we're not doing is adding the flat HP and then multiplying it by the total percent, because I don't believe that's how it works, because that's the way I'm assuming that it works the same way attack percent does. The way attack is calculated, when you have flat attack as your substats, it just adds it straight on. It doesn't get multiplied by the attack percent. So I'm going to assume that that works the same way with HP. If we are running the troll build with 5-star HP artifacts, and then assuming that we get 2 to 3 rolls on our HP substats, we end up with 46k HP. Okay, and this column right here shows us how much damage we're getting for his normal attacks and his stone steel and his resonance. So his resonance is the same multiplier, so you can just copy paste this here. So it's if we look at this, it's quite significant. 646 damage and 1348 damage. It's kind of a lot, I'm not gonna lie. If we run this troll comp, that is. If we turn this down to 0, we can see how much lower this gets. And so we lose about 10k HP, we go down to 34k, and we're still doing almost 500 damage, extra damage, and almost 1000 damage on our stone steel and from our resonance, which is pretty good. Not bad, right? Even if we run 0% on the goblet and the circlet, probably run, you know, some kind of crit multiplier and then geo damage percent probably here. That's what I would probably do. And then, yeah, you know, we can go ahead and mess with this cell here, and then this set of cells will tell us how much damage we're getting. So if we're at like 10k HP, we can see that we get 139 damage to our normal attacks, and our stone steel gets 290. And then if we increase to 20k, you can see how much more this goes up. So the bottom line to know here is that your HP is basically directly or maybe linearly affecting your damage. I don't know if I'm using that term right, but basically what I'm trying to say is that if you have 20k HP, and then if you bump that up to 40k HP, his passive is basically giving you double the amount, right? So at 40k, we get 1,556, and if I bring this back down to 20k, we get about 580 and 278, which is about 50%. Yeah, that's I think that's kind of like the important conclusion to take out of this, is that right there. So his HP and the damage modifier you get they're basically like just directly correlated, which is pretty obvious because it's just like a percent modifier. And so, you know, let's actually see, let me just double check my work here, right? I want to see if I'm actually doing this correctly. So if we compare that to the gifts that we have in here, we can see, let's take a look at how much his first attack is doing. So I believe I saw 473, and then here we see 231. So let me pull up my calculator. So 473 minus 231, I believe it was, equals 242 damage on his auto attack. And let's take a look at the stone steel. So the summoning damage is 699, and then we want to subtract 232. 467. So let's remember those two numbers, okay? And if we go over here, if we mess with this, we can see that that's kind of close, okay? We're kind of close here. So 467, we're looking for 467. So maybe let's bump this down to 18k. How much does that give us? 522, not quite there. What about 16k? 464. Oh, that's really close. Okay, what about 16,500? 478. That's so close. Okay, I think it's like maybe 61,000, 16,000. It's about 16,000. 469 to his stone steel and then 225 to his normal attack. I believe that's what we calculated the difference to be, right? Let's just double check the normal attack real quick. So his first auto attack is doing 473 minus 231, 242. Is that what we got? That's pretty close. Not gonna lie. 242 and 469. That is really, really close. Let me just bring up my... So, I mean, I think that I'm doing my math correctly. I think there might be a mistake somewhere. Because it's not exactly the same amount of damage, but in his build he might have extra geo damage percent, who knows, right? So or something like that. So that's why his stone steel is that's why we're not getting the exact amount of damage here. Because this is, you know, we're just calculating the flat addition with his passive. So in the GIF, he could have some extra geo damage percent, which is why we're seeing a discrepancy. We're seeing a discrepancy here, but I'm pretty sure that I'm doing my math correct after looking at this. Yeah, take this information and use it to your best of your ability. His buff is not bad. It's definitely not bad at all. So basically for Zhongli's buff, you're only getting a flat amount of damage to his attacks. So you'll definitely never ever get above 50k HP, I'm pretty sure. Even if you like luck out and get flat HP and HP percent on all of your substats and run HP percent on all of your artifacts. So 50k is definitely like the upper limit, maybe 60k. And at that point, the max damage threshold that you'll get is about 1500 damage and 700 damage to your auto attacks. Okay, and so what about talents? Well, according to how this post is worded, all of these buffs don't seem to be scaling with Zhongli's talent percent at all, or what his talent level is. So even if he's at talent level 1 versus if he's at talent level 10, it sounds like his passive's damage increase that he gets for his E and his normal attacks is just completely flat. So it just doesn't matter what your talent level is. You'll always just be getting 1.3 max percent of your HP and 1.9% of your max HP as extra damage. I mean, obviously I don't know this for sure. This is just what I think is happening, and also, you know, they say that this is all being tested in the 1.3 beta version. Things are subject to change, so we'll just have to wait and see what the final product is going to be anyway. You know, if we're just going off of how this is worded, then I think that these calculations that we did is going to be a pretty good representation of how much damage he's getting. So if we think about a practical example right now, so Zhongli's auto attack is I believe it's a 5-hit, or is it a 6-hit? We can double check this. Okay, so it's a 6-hit combo. Zhongli has a 6-hit auto combo. And so if we add this flat damage 6 times, then we can calculate how much extra flat damage he actually gets if he has 35k HP. And actually, I did that wrong. It's actually 9 times, because his 5-hit combo, I think, is a 4-hit. Yeah, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 8. And then 9, so it's actually 9 hits. So if we grab our calculator here, 478 times 9 means he's getting 4,300 flat attack damage for his auto combo. And I guess, you know, you can use this as a comparison point for your other characters. I think that Claymore characters, they do between like 1,000 and 2,000 per auto hit. You know, compare this with how much damage you're getting from Claymore users or sword users or bow users, and try to answer that question for yourself. Is this enough damage on his auto attacks if he has 35k HP? I can't really answer that question because I don't really know. I don't have like a side-by-side comparison of how much damage Claymore users are using, like maybe Diluc or Beidou is doing per auto, but just like at first glance, 4,300 damage minimum on your auto combos at level 70 Ascension Phase 4, or sorry, I think this is actually 80 Ascension Phase 5, my bad. You're doing at least 4,302 damage per auto combo. Yeah, so I mean, I honestly don't know if this is good enough or if this is gonna make him OP or not. I don't really know. I just calculated the numbers. So yeah, again, you know, just take this information and use it to the best of your ability. Do some comparisons of your own and let me know down in the comments if you think this is actually a good amount of extra damage he's getting. So anyway, that's pretty much the end of this video. And there were a lot of other things coming with this buff, like the Geo Resonance buff, so I don't have enough time to go into that in this video because this video is already run pretty long. So maybe I'll do that in a future video if there is enough interest in it. If there is, let me know in the comments as well, and so I can prioritize that. If you liked what you see here, then make sure to leave me a like. Maybe subscribe to the channel. I like to do this kind of stuff, so you can expect more of this, and I'll see you guys later.